Every linebacker in NFL history, from the busts to first ballot Hall of Famers, falls somewhere perfectly on one of these 7 levels. This system has stayed accurate through every era of football, and even though most don't make it past level 4, those who make it to level 7 are remembered forever. But first, we need to go over level 1. For level 1, we're just going to be taking first round players, since that wouldn't be fair to take anyone after that. But don't worry, we'll start with some of the worst linebackers of all time. So we'll start with Aaron Curry, who was supposed to be the safest draft pick of all time. The Seattle Seahawks drafted him with the 4th overall pick in 2009, thinking they found their franchise linebacker. What they got instead was a walking disappointment. He was on 3 teams in 4 seasons. In his career, Curry manages 203 combined tackles and 5.5 sacks across 48 games. It's just unacceptable production for a top 5 pick. The Cardinals drafted Isiah Simmons in 2020 with the 8th overall pick. The problem is, he wasn't very good at any position. So people thought that he was positionless and could be moved around anywhere, which wasn't the case. Currently in 2025, he's out of the league. Then you have Jamin Davis, drafted with the 19th overall pick in 2021. He was projected to be a really good linebacker out of Kentucky. He could just never put it all together at the NFL level, and he's currently out of the NFL as well. And of course, we have Brian Bosworth. The Seattle Seahawks took him with the 1st overall pick in the 1987 supplemental draft after all the college hype. They used a top pick on a guy who finished his career with just 24 games played over 3 seasons. But again, the numbers don't really capture the true horror of watching the Boz try to play linebacker. His defining moment came when Bo Jackson literally ran him over on Monday Night Football. These guys are some of the worst of the worst. But the next level of linebackers are at least complementary pieces. Level 2 linebackers are best suited for being that reliable 2nd or 3rd linebacker who can rack up tackles and clean up duty when the primary defenders funnel the plays their way, much like Patrick Queen. He put up really solid numbers throughout his career, especially in Baltimore. 133 tackles in 2023, he's made a couple Pro Bowls and even got some All-Pro recognition. Then you have Devin White, who's the perfect example of this level's ceiling and limitations. The 2020 Super Bowl run was special. He was everywhere, making tackles, forcing turnovers, looking like a future superstar. Jordan Brooks represents the steady, reliable version of level 2. 2 seasons with 160 plus tackles, consistently getting around 100 plus every year when he's healthy. The Seahawks and now the Dolphins plug him in, and he does exactly what you expect. You have guys like Rolando McClain, Denzel Perryman, and Antonio Pierce here as well. But here's the thing. They're perfect as a 2nd or 3rd option who benefits from having elite talent around them. In level 3 here, we're going to be talking about some really good to even great linebackers. Take Alex Anzalone. This dude has been the steady heartbeat of Detroit's defense during their resurgence. 125 plus tackles in multiple seasons, reliable in coverage, and the kind of linebacker who makes all the routine plays. TJ Edwards represents the cerebral version of level 3. He went undrafted but turned himself into a legitimate NFL starter. 159 tackles in 2022, multiple seasons over 100 tackles, and he's been the signal caller for both Philadelphia and Chicago's defenses. You have guys like Frankie Louvu, Bobby Okereke, Nick Bolton, Dre Greenlaw, and Brian Orakpo here as well. The bottom can fall out from these guys if you ask them to do just a bit too much, but they're perfectly capable of being your number 1 linebacker. They just probably won't be the elite of the elite in the NFL. But they'll need to keep making plays in order to get into the next level. Level 4, these are your franchise cornerstones. These are the guys who get their numbers retired and plaques in the team's Ring of Honor. Zach Bond is a perfect example of this level ceiling. When he's on, he's absolutely dominant. He finally transitioned from being an edge rusher to a middle linebacker in 2024, and he became an instant All-Pro. 151 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and he was the engine of the Eagles' defense resurgence that helped them reach the Super Bowl and actually win it. Levante David might be one of the most consistent, excellent players at this level. 1 All-Pro selection, multiple Pro Bowls, and he's been the heartbeat of Tampa Bay's defense for over a decade now. Teddy Bruschi represents the championship pedigree of level 4. 3 Super Bowl rings, clutch performances in biggest moments, and he was one of the early emotional leaders for those early Patriot dynasties. You have guys like Al Wilson, Clay Matthews, London Fletcher, Jeremy Trotter, Joey Porter, Jesse Tuggle, Ken Norton Jr., and Shaq Leonard here as well. But here's the thing about level 4. They're franchise legends who probably won't get serious Hall of Fame consideration, at least as of just yet. They're just not quite at the level where they transcend the sport, but they're absolutely the foundation that championship teams are built around. Level 5 people are on a Hall of Fame track. They can go toe-to-toe with almost anyone in the league. Khalil Mack represents the pass rushing terror of level 5. 9 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pro selections, and a 2016 Defensive Player of the Year award. Mack's career is fascinating because he's maintained elite production across 3 different teams. In 2023, he had 17 sacks with the Chargers. Before that, he was absolutely dominant with the Bears, and even before that, when he won his Defensive Player of the Year award, that was with the Raiders. Roquan Smith might be the most complete linebacker at this level. 3 All-Pro selections, 3 Pro Bowls, and he's been the quarterback of elite defenses wherever he goes. 2022 and 2023 was absolutely special for the Ravens. Before that, being the absolute play caller on the defense for the Chicago Bears. Navarro Bowman had the peak that few linebackers ever reach. 4 All-Pro selections, 3 Pro Bowls, and that 2013 season was absolutely legendary with 145 tackles, 5 sacks, and 2 interceptions, including 1 for a touchdown. But here's the thing about level 5. They're missing that one piece that can make them absolutely legendary and a lock for the Hall of Fame. You have guys like Greg Lloyd, Hardy Nickerson, and Pat Swilling here as well. That's level 5. Really great linebackers who have Hall of Fame talent and are building the resume, but they haven't quite put it all together to be first ballot locks just yet. Level 6, you have first ballot Hall of Famers, and this level is absolutely stacked. These people are already locked for the Hall of Fame if they aren't in already. We have Bobby Wagner here, with the all-time football IQ and coverage skills. His peak from 2014 to 2020 was absolutely ridiculous. In his career so far, he has 6 All-Pro selections, 8 Pro Bowls, and he was literally the quarterback of Seattle Legion of Boom's defense once Earl Thomas left. TJ Watt represents the pass rushing terror that changed how offenses have to game plan. That 2021 Defensive Player of the Year season was historic. 22.5 sacks, tying the NFL record, along with 21 tackles for a loss and 39 QB hits. Zach Thomas might be one of the most underrated players of all time. 7 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro selections, and he was the engine of Miami's defenses for a decade. Derek Thomas had that freakish athleticism and ability that made the impossible look routine. His single-game record of 7 sacks against Seattle is still untouchable. Brian Urlacher with a combination of size, speed, and football intelligence that's just absolutely unfair. His 06 season was absolutely untouchable, reaching the pinnacle in the Super Bowl, just falling short to the Colts with Peyton Manning. You have guys like Junior Seau, Fred Warner, Terrell Suggs, Marcus Ware, Willie McGinnis, Kevin Green, Robert Brazile, Ted Hendricks, Andre Tippett, Ray Nitschke, and Bobby Bell here as well. But here's the thing about level 6. They're almost close to that top level, but just not quite. They've mastered their craft and dominated their era, but there's still one more level above them, the guys who transcended the position itself. This one has by far been the most difficult level 7 to decipher who are the best of the best linebackers of all time. And if you know anything about my previous videos in this series as well, I don't think I've had one nearly as stacked. I have 10 players. Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Luke Kuechly, Derek Brooks, Mike Singletary, Dick Butkus, Chuck Bednarik, and Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor with that freakish athleticism and ability to make the impossible look routine. 142 career sacks, 10 Pro Bowls, 8 All-Pro selections, and a legendary 1986 MVP season from a defensive player. Ray Lewis with the leadership and instincts that were just otherworldly. The man was basically a coach on the field, reading every play to perfection. 228 games, over 2,000 tackles, 41.5 sacks, and 2 Super Bowl rings, including that legendary 2000 playoff run where he won Super Bowl MVP. Dick Butkus with the combination of ferocity and football intelligence that defined the middle linebacker position. 8 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro selections, and he did it in just 9 seasons. Jack Lambert represents the cerebral master of this position. 6 All-Pro selections, 9 Pro Bowls, and he was a quarterback of Pittsburgh's Steel Curtain defense that won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. Mike Singletary with that relentless motor and championship pedigree that defined the 1985 Bears defense. 10 Pro Bowls, 7 All-Pro selections, and 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Jack Ham was absolutely incredible. 8 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pros, and he was a perfect complement to Lambert in Pittsburgh's dynasty. Derek Brooks with the speed and coverage ability that redefined what outside linebackers could even do. 11 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro selections, and a 2002 Defensive Player of the Year award where he had 5 interceptions. Chuck Bednarik was the original two-way master. 8 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pro selections, and he played both center and linebacker at an elite level. Patrick Willis had a peak that few linebackers or people ever reach. 7 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro selections. Luke Kuechly represents the modern master of the position. 7 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro selections, and a 2013 Defensive Player of the Year award. This is timeless excellence. All these people are unchallenged by critics or detractors. They all checked every single box. These level 7 masters didn't just dominate their era, they transcended the position itself. And so there you have it, the 7 levels of NFL linebackers. From garbage to your bust who set franchises back, to the masters who redefined what a position could be. Every linebacker you've ever watched Every name you've ever heard fits somewhere perfectly on this spectrum, from the linebackers in the steel curtain all the way to the guys who are playing today.